Hello everyone and welcome to Takeaway Chinese. Today we're going to look at different pronunciation mistakes that non-native speakers make. If you think this topic is interesting, don't forget to like this video and continue watching. One of the first words that you have probably learned in Chinese were yi, one. We are used to pronouncing yi with the first tone. However, did you know that yi can be with the second and fourth tones as well? How does it work? First, we use yi with the first tone when we talk about general numbers, addresses, time, or dates. For example, 第一 first, 一点 1 o'clock, 星期一 Monday. The most common way to pronounce yi is with the fourth tone, yi. Yi, we pronounce yi when it's also part of the word or a phrase, but it's not the last character. 一点儿, 一点儿. We also pronounce yi with the fourth tone when it's followed by the measure word. For example, 一杯水, 一杯水. The only requirement is that the measure word should be with the first, second, or third tones. If the measure word is with the fourth tone, then we pronounce yi with the second tones. 一个 一次 一块 We also pronounce yi with the second tone when it's a part of the word or a phrase and it's not the last character and the syllable after it is with the fourth tone. 一样 一定 These are the words with yi that we use most of the time. Don't forget, when we talk about time, 一点 星期一 yi remains with the first tone. It changes to the second tone when the syllable after it is with the fourth tone. 一样一定一次一块 yi changes to the fourth tone when it's also part of the word or a phrase and it's not the last character. The syllable after it can be with any tones, apart from the fourth tone. 一点儿 Same goes to the negative prefix 不 when 不 followed by a syllable that is with the fourth tone, then 不 becomes the second tone. 不是不对不要 A common mistake is that people pronounce it like 不要不是不对 Don't forget, we need to add more surprise, extend the second tone, and say 不是不对不要 Okay, the next mistake is that people pronounce the first tone really shortly. And sometimes they even don't pronounce it at all. You can hear it in the words like 知道说都 Sometimes people pronounce it like 知道都说 This is not correct. We pronounce the first tone longer than any other tones. To pronounce it correctly, try to extend the second part of the syllable. For example, 知道 This is the correct way of pronouncing it when we emphasize the second part. Especially you can hear it in a sentence. Try to say 我知道 I know that you want to speak Chinese faster and don't want to spend time paying attention to the tones. However, it's all about practicing. Once you practice enough times, you will pronounce it automatically without even thinking about these nuances. Okay, another word is 真 Really. So here, people say 真 right? Really fast and emphasize 知 This way, it sounds like the fourth tone. To pronounce it like the first tone, you need to extend the second part of this syllable. 真 Try to practice on these sentences. 你真好，你真好。I would recommend you to go all day repeating the same phrase, paying attention to the first tone, pronouncing it longer. That's how I practiced before, and it helped. The second mistake is shortening and swallowing the second tone, especially when it stands in the end of the sentence. For example, the word 问题 people pronounce it like 问题 You see? Try to pronounce it longer. 问题 Try to add more surprise and also emphasize the second part. 一 Okay? Sometimes people like to associate the second tone with the surprise or a question. So you can think 一 what 题 and then when you speak faster, of course you can reduce it, but it should still remain clear. It should sound like the second tone. 我有一个问题 I will show you. When you practice, go all the way up to the second tone. 问题 Then when you speak fast, you can reduce it half, okay? So you don't need to go all the way like this. You can just pronounce half of it. 问题 But don't pronounce it like the light tone. 问题 That's not correct. And while practicing, pronounce the full second tone. And then once you get used to it, then you can go to the half second tone. Another mistake is that sometimes people pronounce the full third tone only or don't pronounce the third tone at all. We learned that the full third tone sounds like this. 马 Go down and then up again. 马 However, most of the time we use half third tone. Half third tone is when you only go down, okay? It's not the same with the fourth tone. Fourth tone is like ma, but the half third tone will sound like ma. This is the lowest range of your voice. Try to add some creakiness. Imagine that you are so sad that you're like ma. For example, word 洗手间 洗手间 手 You can see I do not say 手 洗手间 So you can say 请问 Also the third tone. We do not pronounce it like 请问 It's 请问洗手间在哪儿 As you can see, the first syllable 请 we pronounce with half third tone. 洗手 pronounce with half third tone. And the last word 哪儿 we pronounce with the full third tone. When the third tone stands in the end of the sentence, we pronounce it fully. However, when the third tone stands in the middle of the word, in the middle of the sentence, beginning of the sentence, we pronounce it as half third tone. Don't think about it. Just remember that the full third tone is only pronounced when it's the last syllable in a sentence. For example, 图书馆 library. I go to the library. 我去图书馆 馆 I pronounce with the full third tone. If I ask you, where is the library? 请问图书馆在哪儿？图书馆在哪儿？ You can see that this 馆 became 馆 half third tone. And the fourth tone. A common mistake is that students pronounce the fourth tone very aggressively or do not pronounce it at all. For example, watch TV. 看电视 Sometimes it sounds like 看电视 or sometimes people pronounce it as 看电视 Both versions are incorrect. To pronounce it correctly, it should be something between aggressive and not pronouncing. So here it would sound 看电视 看电视. The difference between the light tone and the forced tone is that we need to emphasize the initial, the first part of the syllable. You remember? With the first tone, we emphasize the second part of the syllable, like 我, right? But in the forced tone, we pronounce the first part, 的, 电, 电. I really push my tongue, the tip of my tongue, to pronounce this 的 sound. 电, and then I take my time to pronounce 是, 是. Okay? So it's not 是 with the whole body. It's only the first part and only work with your tongue. 电视, 看电视. And finally, the light tone. People usually pronounce the light tone equally to the syllable before it. For example, 漂亮. That's incorrect. 漂亮, 漂亮. 亮, 亮, 亮 is quieter, is shorter. You see? To emphasize the light tone, we need to pronounce the syllable before it longer. 漂亮, 漂亮. Even though it's the first tone, we don't have to say 漂亮.
漂亮.
You can extend it a little bit, but don't forget to emphasize p sound. 漂亮, 漂亮, 漂亮. Same goes to the word we say all the time, 谢谢, 谢谢. You see, it's not 谢谢, it's 谢谢, 谢谢. Shorter and quieter. These were common tones pronunciation mistakes. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe. And if you would like to fix all of your pronunciation mistakes, then you should join our pronunciation course, Sound Like a Native Speaker. It's starting on June 6. The course takes 18 days to improve your pronunciation. First 9 days, we work on the pronunciation of initials, finals, and tones. Then, next 9 days, we work on your Chinese intonation. We already helped over 30 students to improve their pronunciation dramatically. You can learn more about our unique approach in the link below. And I will see you next time. 再见!